Good morning, real estate agents. In this video today, we're going to talk about how a buyer can get FHA financing with zero down. That's right, zero down, and that is not MSHA financing. So FHA allows a buyer to buy a home up to approximately $515,000. Typically, they have to have a 3.5% down payment. We've always said that's the minimum down payment requirement, 3.5%. Well, there is a way to have secondary financing now that would allow a person to buy a home at zero down. So let's take an example. Let's take a $300,000 sale price. Typically, the down payment requirement would be $10,500. Well, a buyer could take either a second mortgage lien position for as about $134 a month over a 10-year period and have that second lien behind the first mortgage, or they could have a forgivable gift. A forgivable gift means if they live in the house for those, I think it's 5 or 10 years, then that lien is forgivable. However, the interest rate is higher if you have a forgivable loan. So I'd much rather have a client qualify with their down payment, 3.5%, have it in a second loan position for $134 a month, and then in as little as a year, if values are increased, they could refinance and combine both of those loans together and have a regular traditional FHA mortgage. So the interest rate is what's the catch, you say, right? So the interest rate is typically a little bit higher. Actually, I'll say this, today's interest rates, a buyer's in the like 5.9 range. Well, with the second mortgage, it ends up being an interest rate of 7.25%. So to give you some perspective, maybe 6.99% depending on the credit score. So it's a wonderful opportunity to get a buyer that couldn't otherwise buy a home, because typically if you have a $300,000 home and you consider closing costs, you need about $22,000 to buy a home. And then if you get some seller paid closing costs, it could bring it down to as little as $10,000. Well, if you have the down payment taken care of, then all you have to worry about is closing costs and prepaid items. And there's a way to get a loan for 5% instead of 3.5%, and then take 1.5% and spend it on paying those closing costs. So that's pretty cool too. And then of course you have seller concessions, and the buyer can get a gift and has money themselves. So together we can work it out where the buyer brings very little to the closing, depending on what the sellers are willing to do, and this down payment assistance program that is in the second mortgage position or gifted, and the rate is higher. This is Dawn Connors at Mortgage One, providing you fantastic mortgage solutions. Call me today for your FHA buyers that have zero or little money down and they want to buy from like an $80,000 home to a $500,000 home. This allows them to do that without the MSHA money needed. Thank you.